Welcome to today's show, Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess, passionate, inspirational speaker, author, poet, and entrepreneur. Good morning, and welcome to Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm delighted you joined me this morning. I want to give a big thank you to those of you who are listening today all around the world. I'm delighted and so very grateful that you tuned in. I sure hope you're enjoying a fabulous day today and that you're having a fantastic week, because in the grand song of the universe, you know what? Life is very, very short. It's short and sweet and oh so precious. So I hope you're making a difference in your own life, because when you do, you also make a difference in someone else's life. Now, a lot of people want to make their life count for something, and they ask me, Dr. Gloria, how do you do that? Well, it's very simple, very simple. You make your life count day by day, step by step, moment by moment, smile by smile, every single day, 365, 24/7. That's what Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count is all about. Now, you can learn more about Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count by visiting the Gloria Burgess website. That's Gloria Burgess, Gloria, B as in boy, URGESS.com, or by visiting Facebook. And that's facebook.com/DR for Doctor, DRGLORIABURGESS PHD/. All right. Now today I want to talk with you about success. Specifically, we're going to focus on the truth about success, because a lot of us actually believe in overnight success. I mean, we really do. Deep down, we all know that it takes hard work to succeed in anything. I mean, really to master it, right? But at the same time, we secretly believe that the hard work is for other people, not for us, right? I mean, sometimes it's as if we actually believe that circumstances or things should simply go our way because we believe so strongly that that's just how it should be. You know, we see other people who are successful, and we want the same thing for ourselves, right? So today's show is all about the truth about success, the secret sauce, so to speak, of how to be successful. So it's time to put your earbuds in, lace up those walking shoes, and listen up. Or if you just want to settle back in your favorite chair and have a cup of coffee or tea or a glass of lemonade or maybe a long, cool glass of water, then go right ahead. Put your feet up and settle in. We're going to have a great time. Now, before I jump into today's show, I just want to take a moment to welcome you. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Dr. Gloria. This is Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to those of you who are joining my show, or if you're joining Talk Network Radio for the very first time. You are in for a real special treat. I'm so excited to have you listening in today, and I'm deeply honored that you've allowed me to be part of your day, so you can be inspired by ideas and resources to make your life count. Today's program is all about the truth about success. In fact, as I was thinking about this show and preparing for it and doing the research for it, I was thinking about compositing and compiling 6 or 7 different stories and sharing them with you about several folks who are, fairly well known, folks who we now consider to be very successful in their professional lives. I plan to share some of their secrets with you, but as I started to dig a little and do a little bit deeper research into each one of their lives, I became fascinated with each and every one of their stories. Surprise, surprise, the storyteller, right? The person who loves stories. And then I realized, wow, I really have enough material that I could do a show on each person. But I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to talk about 2 people today, and I hope that you get something out of their story, their life. So I've decided to focus the entire podcast on 2 people today so that we can learn a bit more about each of these wonderful, wonderful people. How does that sound? Okay? Sound okay? Great. So, you all know how much I absolutely love music, right? I love music, I love poetry, I love the arts, anything that has to do with creativity and using our imagination. And I also absolutely love leadership. Well, today I'm going to focus on 2 amazing folks who have all of these qualities: music, creativity, leadership, writing, all of those kinds of qualities, right? And today I'm going to shine the light on Mr. Wynton Marsalis and Ms. J.K. Rowling. So Wynton Marsalis and J.K. Rowling. Now, Wynton Marsalis is one of my favorite musicians. Most of us know him as an amazing jazz trumpeter and composer. That's great, right? Well, did you also know that Marsalis is also an awesome educator? That's right. He's also a teacher of jazz. He's a band leader and a huge champion and advocate for the arts. He's the managing director and artistic director of JALC, okay, and that stands for Jazz at Lincoln Center. Jazz at Lincoln Center in New York, a position that he's held for over 30 years. In addition to promoting classical and jazz music, often to young audiences, Wynton is the winner of 9 Grammy Awards. Pretty awesome, don't you think? His work entitled Blood on the Fields is the first jazz composition to win the Pulitzer Prize for music. And he won that for that composition over 20 years ago. I know that once every decade he takes a composition and focuses on African American heritage, and this is one of those pieces. Pulitzer Prize for music. Pretty awesome stuff. Okay, so throughout his illustrious career, Wynton Marsalis has helped propel jazz to the forefront of American culture, and I'd say to the forefront of a lot of different cultures who look to American culture as their standard. Wynton was born in 1961 to Ellis Marsalis Jr. and his wife, and Ellis Marsalis, some of you might know, is also a jazz musician. He is a jazz pianist. 3 of his 6 brothers are also musicians. His brother Branford plays the saxophone, Delfeo plays the trombone, and Jason is a drummer. And all of them are also accomplished musicians. So Wynton Marsalis has this to say about success. Success in the world of music, specifically about the joy of swinging. Swinging, yeah. Okay, so he says, in jazz, time is your friend. Time is your friend. I love that. And when you find your own swing, or the swing time, in any group activity, actual time, clock time that is, right? Actual time flies. Yes, it does. But it's flying to where you want to be. And when you get there, you realize the ride is the destination. That's the joy of swinging. I just love that, okay? And he's talking about swinging in the sense of a jazz ensemble or any kind of activity. All of us, can't be jazz musicians. How sad is that, right? But any activity that you engage in, you find that groove, you find that swing, and actual time, does something a little bit different, right? It actually flies, and it takes you to where you want to be. Marcellus also has this truth to share with us about success, and this is about his father. He says, "My father, a great musician whom I had seen killing himself to barely make enough to care for his family, said, 'Make sure you don't have anything to fall back on, because you will.'" Make sure you don't have anything to fall back on, because you will. Now, that's the truth about success. That's a truth to remember. I mean, that's so good. Here it is again. This is advice from Marcellus' father, Ellis Marcellus. He says, make sure you don't have anything to fall back on, because you will. In other words, stay on purpose, right? Stay true to your core. Stay true to your why. Now, that's something you hear me talk about all the time on this show, okay? Now, a few months ago, a friend of mine, actually a friend of a friend, sent me this lovely story about Wynton Marsalis. And this story was shared as part of a keynote address delivered by Dr. Kirk Byron Jones at the University of Pennsylvania. Dr. Jones called his keynote address Dare to Rest. Dare to Rest. And in his own words, he says, on Tuesday evening, in late August 2001, Pulitzer Prize-winning trumpeter and composer Wynton Marsalis was playing at the Village Vanguard, one of the world's most famous jazz clubs. David Hadju, a well-known music critic, was there to see, hear, and relay this extraordinary moment. David says this. He played a ballad called "I Don't Stand a Ghost of a Chance with You." He played the ballad unaccompanied. Written by Victor Young, a film score composer for a 1930s romance, the piece can bring out the sadness in any scene, and Marsalis appeared deeply attuned to its melancholy, to its sadness. He performed the song in murmurs and sighs, at points nearly talking the words in notes. It was a wrenching art of creative expression. When he reached the climax, Marsalis played the final phrase, the title statement, in declarative tones, allowing each successive note to linger in the air a bit long. I don't stand a ghost of a chance. The room was silent until, at the most dramatic point, someone's cell phone went off, blaring a rapid sing-song melody in electronic bleeps. People started giggling and picking up their drinks. The moment, the whole performance just unraveled. Marsalis paused for a beat, motionless, and his eyebrows arched. I scrawled on a sheet of notepaper, "Magic ruined." The cell phone offender scooted into the hall as the chatter in the room grew louder. Still frozen at the microphone, Marsalis replayed the silly cell phone melody note for note. Then he repeated it and began improvising variations on the tune. The audience slowly came back to him. In a few minutes, he resolved the improvisation, which had changed keys once or twice and throttled down to a ballad tempo.